P word. What will happen to Trump supporters if Trump loses? Will they find a new messiah or will they stick with Trump until they die? Well, I don't know. It's interesting. We were talking last week, and I've been on this sort of like kick about a little worried about violence. I'm worried about violence on the day of election through the period of time where, we're waiting to get results. It's conceivable, I guess, that Joe Biden gets enough votes on that day that he could win. But I don't, I think it's unlikely. I think we're not going to know who the winner is. And I think there's going to be a lot of violence in an attempt to sort of like prevent people from counting the ballots. Yeah. And, who knows? There was this weird thing too. Like, did you hear about this? Like this video of somebody dumping postal letters, like it was in LA or something. They're investigating it, but you just wonder, like, the various different sort of means in which people could interfere with the counting of the ballots and whatnot. And apparently there are also groups on the left who are sort of meeting and contemplating what happens with violence after the fact. Donald Trump is not going away. I mean, he could pass away at one point, but he also strikes me as one of those guys who's going to live until like way past the time that he should. And he'll go on OWN or whatever it is. I mean, do people remember how prominent what's her face was? I can't even remember her name now, but she was hugely prominent. McCain's running mate.
Sarah Palin.
Sarah Palin, sorry. Sarah Palin
had a show
was the premier conservative in the country for at least 6 to 8 months after the election. Mm-hmm. And then she just decided I need to cash out and get money. But, Donald Trump has figured out how to monetize this. Mm-hmm. If he goes to jail, it may be a different story, but he's not going to go to jail immediately. He's going to get out there and he is going to, the dynamic is really not going to change that much. Mm-hmm. He is going to help basically threaten to primary all these Republicans. It's going to be a fascinating dynamic because it's going to force the Democrats, hopefully, Chris Coons desperately doesn't want to get rid of that filibuster because with the filibuster, but there's still going to be a bunch of those guys who try and put themselves at the fulcrum, right? But they're
and she did, Sarah Palin, like, we forget how much she played a part in the Tea Party, how she became their weapon, their spokesperson.
Without a doubt. There is going to be on day one, Donald Trump is going to, he's going to be monetizing it like she was doing. Mm-hmm. But yeah. So.
And I wouldn't be surprised if the Republicans didn't find a way, like the Republican Party didn't find a way to use his movement now to focus more on legislative seats, more on actual, like, because from his perspective, it's about winning the presidential election. So he's not using his power, his movement, to target strategically below president. But if he doesn't win, there's a great vehicle there in round 9,500 of Republicans, rat fucking, essentially.
But is there evidence that the organization is distinct enough from him that it can help other candidates? I mean, like, even when he endorses, I feel like there is a quality to Trump like there was to Obama in terms of, like, Obama did not have the ability to necessarily, like, sort of say, like, elect this person and get that person elected. I mean, I don't know that Donald Trump has that ability.
He might. I mean,
I don't think he's going to deploy it in that way if he does.
I have no idea what his end goal will be or who around him is going to be advising. I mean, not in jail, advising him. But I think there's more of a path the way Bernie created a movement and in weighing in certain elections to get people up and off the ground with the money and the resources and support. And, and if he's working with Bannon, if he's working with these folks still, I don't know.
But do you think he even has a political agenda? I have a feeling that it's more going to be like, you guys got to tune into OWN. And if you watch for 4 hours, you're going to get a mug. And also support that guy because he watches OWN, or whatever the network is going to be.
Maybe, but I think he probably wants to restore his image if he's out. And maybe that's involved with OWN in pushing out a conspiracy theory. I have no idea. I mean, if he's voted out, he's Nixon. So how does he not become Nixon? And his ego drives everything. So, and probably his children are going to want to restore their family image to whatever level they can.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
I don't know.
I hope we get the chance to see it. Let's put it that way.